Welcome, everyone, to the NoDQ.com live recap of Monday Night Raw for June 9th, 2025. We are coming off Money in the Bank. This was the post-Money in the Bank edition of Monday Night Raw. We have Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia coming up, as well as Evolution. Business continues to move along. We had a Money in the Bank video package, and then it was revealed that Wade Barrett was on commentary. Pat McAfee apparently got the night off. We opened up the show with the last real champion, John Cena, who got a very mixed reaction in Phoenix. Packed crowd this week, 14,000 plus people. There were people way up in the cheap seats by the stage. So much for the rumors that WWE was on the decline. They're still drawing big numbers. Cena said the truth is a lie, and the fans wasted their energy saving a sideshow comedian whose greatest achievement was pretending to be him, in reference to the fans chanting for R-Truth and having R-Truth come back to WWE. Cena called the fans spineless keyboard warriors, said they really don't have any power to change anything. And a year from now, they won't even care about R-Truth. Cena said, you don't use your voice to send in a class clown. You use your voice to send competition. The key word there, voice. The fans, they understood the assignment. They knew what Cena was setting up. They were chanting CM Punk, and sure enough, the man himself, CM Punk, comes down to the ring to confront John Cena. Punk said he was not there for TKO and the billionaires. He's there to defend the people. The establishment picked John Cena. The people, they are CM Punk's boss. They picked Punk in 2011. He said if they want the truth, they are going to get Ron Killings. He said that years ago. He brought up the line how everybody's a spoke on the wheel. He said John Cena is the same thing. Punk said he's going to start by taking John Cena's title, and then Cena, who knows what he's doing is wrong, will have to spend the rest of his run apologizing to the fans. He said the title corrupted Cena. Same thing happened to CM Punk in 2012. He said the title turned him into a monster. And now, in order to stop the monster, he has to become a monster once again. He said that Cena has 18 dates left. Cena can pick any date he wants for when Punk is going to take that title. Punk wanted it right there in Phoenix, but Cena, of course, not interested in doing it in Phoenix. He said if Punk wants the title, he is going to have to follow him to Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions. And Punk did accept this despite his past comments. People have been calling out CM Punk, calling him a hypocrite, because years ago he talked about Saudi Arabia being blood money for WWE, and now CM Punk is officially heading to Saudi Arabia. Seth Rollins, the Money in the Bank holder, came out there and he posed with the Money in the Bank briefcase, just letting them know that he can cash in at any time. This was a hell of a segment. How do I feel about John Cena and CM Punk at Night of Champions. I would have liked SummerSlam, but they're probably doing John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. If I had to make a guess, maybe not. We'll see. There's other possibilities, which we'll talk about later. I thought the promo was great, though. CM Punk was excellent on the mic, and I think he really got the fans to boo John Cena. Punk is the one guy who can pull it off. People were doing the mixed reactions, but CM Punk could really sell the idea that John Cena got corrupted by becoming the champion. It was awesome. I love the opening segment. Now, Hamp Connell is here. We got to get Hamp back on the No DQ review. If you guys want more Hamp, let us know in the chat room. Hamp sent in a $5 super chat and says, I am done wasting my time on these shows. You have John Cena and Nikki Bella in the same building and they do nothing with it. I am done with this creative. You really wanted John Cena and Nikki Bella to do something? That was your takeaway from all this? No John Cena versus CM Punk, but you wanted something with John Cena and Nikki Bella? Interesting. Again, we should get you on the No DQ review because I'm really curious about your take on that. We'll see. We'll see if we can get Hamp back on. Maybe Hamp can be convinced to do one more No DQ review. All right, let's talk about our first match of the evening. Hamp says he's down, so maybe we'll make it happen for this week. We had Chad Gable versus AJ Styles. Solid match here, fast-paced, basic match though. Gable got in a lot of offense, did this German suplex, which looked brutal. He came off the top with the flying headbutt, and then Styles made his comeback. He took out the Creed brothers. Chad Gable countered the forearm with the ankle lock, but then Styles escaped it and picked up the victory with the Styles Clash. Clean win for AJ Styles. The gimmick here is that Chad Gable is always losing, while this other guy, El Grande Americano, is always winning. That seems to be the routine now. And it'll be funny once we finally find out who El Grande Americano finally is. If we even do. Maybe the swerve here will be that we never find out who El Grande Americano is. All right, let's talk about backstage. We had Liv Morgan with Roxanne Perez. They were two participants in a fatal four-way match. Basically, we had the tournament revealed for the King and Queen of the Ring. They are going to be fatal four-way matches, and then we'll have singles matches as semifinals, and then we'll have the final matches take place at Night of Champions. The first four-way match was Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez versus Kairi Sane. And before the match, Roxanne wanted them to work together, but Liv was basically saying, stay out of my way. But the storyline in this match, we had Roxanne helping out Liv on more than one occasion. In fact, Rhea Ripley hit the riptide and Roxanne saved her. So Liv did end up working with her. They were working together for a while. But then Kairi came in, did the insane elbow, and she hit one on Liv, but then Roxanne was able to roll up Kairi and get the 1-2-3 victory. So Roxanne Perez advances in the Queen of the Ring tournament to further her run in WWE and also build up some heat between Roxanne and Liv. Good match here. I like the angle to set that up. Also, Raquel interfered at one point, costing Rhea Ripley the match, so that should be noted. Rhea Ripley brawled with Raquel and got screwed, and that took her out of the running. Good stuff here. Roxanne advances. I like the storyline with Liv Morgan. More on Liv in just a little bit. We had a Nikki Bella video package. She was back on this show. She was backstage meeting up with Natalya, Maxine Dupree, women's champion Io Sky. We then had Becky Lynch come into the ring to celebrate her Intercontinental Championship victory. She brought up how there were no "you deserve it" chants. She said that now the IC title is important. It's the greatest prize in wrestling because she's the owner. It's now part of the big time. She said that Io disrespected her, trying to kill her after their match at Money in the Bank, and she wanted the Bird Lady to come out there, apologize to her, and raise her hand properly. Lyra stormed out there, but it was a setup. We had Bayley finally make her return one night too late, in my opinion. Bayley shows up, attacks Becky Lynch, and Becky was barely able to avoid the rose plant, and she fled through the crowd. Happy to see Bayley back, but I feel like they should have had her return at Money in the Bank. Oh well. Also, the other thing about this, they kind of just made people forget about Bayley because almost immediately after this, we didn't even have it after a commercial break. Like literally right after Bayley shows up, R-Truth appears. I think they should have spread these two segments out because it almost made Bayley's return an afterthought. I really think Bayley should have returned at Money in the Bank because here you just quickly forget about it because R-Truth came out there. R-Truth cut a promo and he brought up how the fans brought him back. Don't let people tell you your voice doesn't matter. He said that there is an issue though. R-Truth can be too funny, too nice, too forgiving. And now he feels different. And if people think it's a gimmick, well, R-Truth took a pair of scissors, and no, he wasn't going to stab anybody like Ricochet. He took the scissors and he cut his hair. And the crowd reactions, this was hilarious to see the crowd. Like there were guys that were completely shocked that he cut his hair like this. And then we got a holy shit chant. I can't remember the last time somebody cut their hair and there was a holy shit chant. That has to be a first. And then he said, R-Truth has set him free. He is Ron Killings. He is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Put some respect on his name. I thought this was a great promo. He was fired up, and this worked very well with transitioning from the comedy with R-Truth and turning him into Ron Killings, a more serious competitor. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very well done. I love the cutting of the hair to symbolize the change. He looks great. It's hard to think that he's 53 years old. I thought this was a brilliant promo. Very well done from R-Truth. Backstage, Liv Morgan confronted Roxanne. Liv was pissed off. No Carlito. We had all the Judgment Day guys there, but no Carlito. Poor Carlito. If only fans chanted his name, maybe he would appear again. We had a video package for Mr. Iguana from AAA. I think it's only a matter of time before we see him on Raw or SmackDown. Probably NXT first, but I feel like WWE is going to really jump on the opportunity here with Iguana. We had our next four-way match. This time it was a King of the Ring tournament match. Now, beforehand, Seth Rollins was giving a pep talk to Braun Breaker said that they're going to have absolute power. They're going to take the titles regardless of whether they win it in a tournament or by heist. They're going to become champions. So we had Breaker versus Penta versus Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio. Now, immediately, Dominic slipped to the outside. Penta went over the top of the dive. Braun Breaker dominated a good portion of this match. And then things started to get more competitive. Sami Zayn built up some momentum. He hit the Blue Thunder Bomb to Dominic and got the win. No, he didn't. He did not pick up the win. Of course not. Then Penta hit the Penta Driver to Sami Zayn, but then Dominic broke it up. Penta fired back, hit him with the Mexican Destroyer, but then Braun Breaker broke that up. And then all of a sudden, we had LA Knight attack Braun Breaker to try and get a little bit of payback from Money in the Bank. And that allowed Sami Zayn to capitalize. Zayn pinned Dominic with the Haluva kick and advances in the King of the Ring tournament. I thought this was a really good match. Sami Zayn winning was a little bit of a surprise, although Night of Champions is in Saudi Arabia. I'm calling it now. I think it's going to be Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes in the final at Night of Champions. Remember, the winner gets a SummerSlam title match. I could see that being the main event for Night of Champions. Well, CM Punk and John Cena will be the main event, I think, but it will be the finals for the men's tournament. That's my prediction at this point. Looking at the brackets, I feel like that's the most likely scenario. And they're doing like Raw versus SmackDown as the final. So I'm guessing it will be Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes for the most amount of heat possible. And it'll be a very heated match, babyface versus babyface. There is the one mystery person, which will probably be just for fun. Maybe it's Mr. Iguana. Maybe Mr. Iguana will be that fourth person next week. We'll see. Backstage, AJ Styles cut a promo, and he's still thinking about the whole Paul Heyman thing. And then Grayson Waller, who was seen arguing with Austin Theory, he was venting to the New Day. New Day cut a promo, and they're seeking out a new front-runner tag team. Basically, WWE's creative team is trying to figure out who will be facing the New Day next. I mean, that's what this segment screamed to me. We had Nikki Bella come into the ring for her big return promo. Virtue's favorite wrestler, Nikki Bella, and legitimately one of my wife's favorite wrestlers. She thanked the Bella Army, and she hyped up Evolution 2. She talked about the new generation of women's wrestlers. She brought up several names, but then all of a sudden, Liv Morgan came out there, and Liv was pissed because Nikki did not mention her name as among the new top stars of this era. Liv blasted Nikki, said that Nikki doesn't have anything that Liv has. Nikki doesn't have a championship, and furthermore, Nikki doesn't have a man, which is a reference to Nikki's recent divorce from Artem. Then Nikki fired back, brought up how we don't even know who Dominic is belonging to. Is it Liv? Is it Roxanne? And then Nikki said that Liv can congratulate Roxanne for taking Liv's title shot and Liv's man. And then they got into a little bit of a brawl. Liv got the best of Nikki, though, laid her out with the Oblivion, and that was the end of the segment. Nikki laid out. I'm thinking tag match. This definitely felt like a tag team match setup, although Rhea and Raquel might have something going on. But the fact that Liv brought up The fact that Nikki doesn't have a title and she does sounds like they're setting up a tag match for Evolution. And really, I think that that's what they should do. If the Bellas are going to come back for one more run, it should be for the tag titles, right? That's the one thing they haven't done. So there you go. And Virtue, I think that is valid to a point, but also I played quite a bit today. It was nice to have a little bit of a break and talk about wrestling. Now, maybe if it was AEW Dynamite or SmackDown, perhaps I would be preferring to free roam on Mario Kart World. Great game, by the way. Absolutely loving it. All right, moving on here. We had our main event of the evening, Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. They got a lot of time for this, and they went well past their usual end time for Monday Night Raw, which I'm always a fan of. I like when they go past the runtime that they usually do. It makes it more unpredictable. Like, you don't know when the match is going to end. It creates more drama, and I think it really worked out for this match. Now, Jay's midsection was hurting, and they really brought this up. Gunther was targeting it. Gunther ripped off this tape that Jey had around his abdomen. I didn't forget about New Day. I did talk about New Day. There was a very brief segment with them, Michael. This was a very competitive match. Went a long time. Crowd was into it. So it was compelling. And Gunther nearly had Jey beat on a couple of occasions. And then Jey would make his comeback. He did the spear, came off the top of the Uso splash. Gunther kicked out of that. Then Jey kicked out of the power bomb. Gunther busted out a spear of his own, but Jey kicked out of that. And then Jey hit another spear. Gunther managed to avoid another Uso splash. He put on the sleeper hold. Jey kept struggling to fight out, and then he did fight out, put on his own sleeper, which is how he beat Gunther for the championship at WrestleMania. But Gunther managed to break out of it. He reapplied the sleeper. Jey kept fighting and fighting. And finally, he passed out. Gunther is your new World Heavyweight Champion, winning the match clean. No shenanigans, no Money in the Bank cash-in. Gunther beat Jey clean. I have to tell you, I was not expecting that. Of all the potential finishes on this show, this was the one I did not see coming. And Jay's kid was there too, on top of this. So I thought, okay, this means Jay's definitely retaining, whether it's Money in the Bank, interference or not. I was shocked by this. Now, this was a hell of a match. I thought they had a great match. I didn't really expect Jey to have a very lengthy run as champion, but I did not expect it to end here. Now, Building Nexus sent in a $5 super chat. Shout out to Building Nexus for that. I appreciate it. Building Nexus says, maybe Sami Zayn versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Seth pulls off another heist during the match and wins. Well, that is what I was thinking about, but also we got Cody Rhodes in this tournament, and I really have to say it's going to be hard to bet against Cody Rhodes in this tournament. But you do Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes, to me, that's a hell of a final for the tournament. Now, on the women's side, I'm not really sure what is going to happen with this one. Asuka is coming back, by the way, on next week's show. And I don't think she's going to lose her first match back, but also we have Stephanie Vaquer. Nikki Bella butchered her name, by the way. Stephanie Vaquer is in the match too. I mean, to her credit, it's not the easiest name in the world to pronounce, especially if you're not really familiar with her. So I think people were a little harsh on her for that one. But yeah, I love the main event. I like when they do the clean finish in the world title match. And we rarely get world title changes on TV. So that was a really nice change of pace. You know, I really think they should do this every now and then, actually have a title change, world title change on television. I mean, it makes the shows more watchable and more unpredictable because you never know. If there's a world title match, you know now, you saw it happen. It might happen anytime. Like it's always going to be in the back of your mind. What if the mystery man is Roman Reigns? Well, then I change everything. But I'll believe it when I see it. Maybe he does come back for that. If Roman Reigns is in it, then I might have to reevaluate my whole thought process on the King of the Ring tournament. But I feel like it's not him. We'll see, though. This comment from me might age very poorly. All right, so final thoughts on Raw. I really enjoyed the show. I think this was one of the most eventful Raws of the year. You had a world title change. You had Nikki Bella setting up Evolution. You had John Cena and CM Punk, which was a great segment. The tournament matches were good. I enjoyed the show very much. I think it was one of the best Raws of the year. So I am going 9 out of 10 for this episode of Monday Night Raw. If there was one thing maybe I would have changed differently, I wouldn't have had Bayley's return right there next to R-Truth's return, because I feel like it just made Bayley's return very forgettable. And it almost was a footnote on this show. I would have either done it in a different part of the show, or like I mentioned earlier, put her out there at Money in the Bank for her return. But all in all, great Raw this week. I definitely recommend it. Yes, it is a children's show, but anybody can enjoy it, whether you're 17 or 71. It's a show for everybody. Keep that in mind. It's not directed for a niche audience. It's directed for everybody. Maybe we see Goldberg versus Gunther now for the world title. Imagine if Goldberg won the title. Man, would that piss people off. Virtue would probably love it. But we'll talk about that more later. We'll see what happens with Goldberg. No teases for that just yet. You know, Gunther had the pyro and the celebration, and that was that. All right, so on that note, I will wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. Thank you to everybody in the chat room for participating. And we'll see what happens. Tune into the No DQ review Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We will be talking about the fallout from Money in the Bank and Monday Night Raw. I'm sure there'll be some interesting opinions on everything that went down. Virtue's always right. So make sure you guys tune in, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And have a great week, everybody. I look forward to more Mario Kart World. By the way, worth the $80, 100%. Excellent game. I'm addicted to it. I love the free roaming. I know some people think it's boring, but I just have fun exploring. I love driving pretty much anywhere and all the different things. The graphics are beautiful, and it's just a fun game. It's really fun. I think it was the natural evolution in Mario Kart. I love all the throwbacks and tributes to the old games, like the Super Nintendo games. They have actual Ghost Valley tracks you can drive. It's awesome. I love it. 100% worth the $80. Like, it is a top tier game. As the saying goes, you get what you pay for. It's $80, but it's a masterpiece. So there you go. That's my take on it. Switch 2. So far, so good. All right, guys, thank you all again. Take care. Much love to you all. Say yes to No DQ, and I will see you all next time.